Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone to the March 14th, 2019, April 10th, I'm looking at the minutes. April 10th, 2019 meeting of the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department Merit Board. If you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Did everyone receive a copy of the minutes from March 14th meeting? If so, are there any corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion second. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Thank you. Sheriff, how are you today?
Good morning, or good afternoon. Everything is great. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you for accommodating us with the schedule change due to a HIDA meeting tomorrow. We appreciate that you're here today. We've got a rather lengthy agenda, so we'll go ahead and get started. The first item, and I want to apologize in getting the agenda to you late. Normally you get it at least 24 hours in advance, and I want to also give credit to Chief Deputy Heeg. Thank you for preparing the agenda. I've been out of the office, as you know, for a week and had a HIDA meeting all day yesterday, and Crown Point had a difficult time getting it together. So he put it together, and I appreciate that he had done that. The first item is an update on our deputies that are over at the Northwest Indiana Law Enforcement Academy. Deputies Tyler Oberholzer, Deputy Alex Clemens, Deputy Jet Belina, Deputy Evan Doporowski, and Deputy Derek Deck just finished week 12. And the topics that they've recently discussed and learned are crime scene management, building searches, and active shooter training. All five continue to do very well physically and academically, and they're looking forward to their graduation on April 26th. With that being said, the last meeting you had indicated that the five of you would like to attend that. We've not been sent an opportunity for tickets as of yet, but I haven't forgotten that. And as that date gets closer and we get notification from Nidlea, I'll reach out to you and I'll let you know what our plans are for going over. So anticipate hearing something within the next week or two. I also want to thank Sergeant Jeff Wright for providing us a weekly update. It's a very thorough and exhaustive update, and we appreciate the time that you take to let us know about all their successes over there. And I say that because they have been very successful in their class. We've got some great leaders over there, and they're doing very, very well academically. They're absolutely pace setters. They're setting the academic bar very, very high, and they continue to do that. Speaking of Sergeant Wright, Sergeant Jeff Wright and Sergeant Scott Boswell will be instructing a field training officer class for several of our new field training officers that will take place on April 18th and 19th. It's nice that we can do that in-house and we don't have to send someone away for training, which can be very expensive. This is an anticipation of those five returning from their graduation from the Northwest Indiana Law Enforcement Academy. On Tuesday, April 9th, Captain Tim Short retired from the Merit Division after serving 31 years with the Sheriff's Office. Captain Short is going to remain with the Sheriff's Office. He took a position in courthouse security. He's actually there today as his first day, and we wish him the best in his new endeavor, and we're pleased that we're able to maintain his expertise and his experience here at the Sheriff's Office. Due to a personnel matter, Deputy Scott Boswell has been promoted to sergeant, where he'll remain on day shift patrol. With his retirement of the retirement of Captain Short, there have been several promotions. Sergeant Andy Heineck has been promoted to captain. Congratulations, Captain Heineck. He's reporting to the midnight shift. He's here all clean shaven. It's nice to see that after about 3 years of being unkempt, that you look nice and professional and clean. Deputy James Arnold has been promoted to sergeant, and he's on the midnight shift, and we congratulate him. Sergeant Harlan Williams took a voluntary reduction in rank to deputy, and he's been reassigned to the afternoon shift. The effective date on that reduction was March 28th of 2019. With the above promotions, there have been several transfers and changes we wanted you to be aware of. The first is, as I mentioned before, Captain Heineck is transferred from the Drug Task Force, and he's going to command the midnight shift as captain. Sergeant Scott Boswell will remain on day shift, but he's going to be taking over as the training coordinator. Sergeant James Arnold's been transferred from the day shift to the midnight shift due to his promotion. And Sergeant Nathan Battleday has been transferred from the midnight shift to the Drug Task Force. With all of that being said, we have several promotional approval requests that I'd like to go over. And the first is of a probationary patrolman, David Grimberg, who's recently been hired, as you know. He came from my eligibility list. To the Sheriff's Merit Board, whereas applicant David Grimberg, a member of the department eligible for the promotional rank of probationary patrolman, except as noted in waiver request form G, if any attached, has been found to have made the highest grade in written examination, years of service grade, and service rating grade total as per reported on the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department eligibility list published by the Sheriff's Merit Board. In my opinion, he appears to have all the necessary attributes to properly discharge his duties in the rank sought. I hereby respectfully request and the approval of the board for his promotion to that rank, which was effective April 1st, 2019. County Trojan House. The Merit Commission had hired him. He was on that eligibility list.
Hearing said, to have a motion to approve the promotion. All in favor, signify by aye. Opposed, same.
Microphone.
Do we need to do that? Probably, let's do that again. Hearing said, do we have a motion for the approval request?
So moved.
Motion?
Second.
Second. Any questions? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you. The next promotional approval request to the Sheriff's Merit Board, whereas applicant James D. Arnold, a member of the department eligible for promotion to the rank of sergeant, except as noted in waiver request form G, if any, attached is found to have made the highest grade in written examination, years of service grade, and service rating grade total as per reported on the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department eligibility list published by the Sheriff's Merit Board. In my opinion, he appears to have all the necessary attributes to properly discharge his duties in the rank sought. I hereby respectfully request the approval of the board for his promotion to that rank effective April 10th, 2019.
Hearing such request, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a motion, to have a second?
Second.
Motion second. Any questions? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same.
Okay. The next promotion approval request to the Sheriff's Merit Board, whereas applicant Andrew Heineck, a member of the department eligible for the promotion to the rank of captain, except as noted in waiver request form G, if any, attached is found to have made the highest grade in written examination, years of service grade, and service rating grade total as per reported on the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department eligibility list published by the Sheriff's Merit Board. In my opinion, he appears to have all the necessary attributes to properly discharge his duty in the rank sought. I hereby respectfully request the approval of the board for this promotion to that rank, effective April 10th, 2019.
Hearing such, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
A motion second. Any questions?
Yeah.
All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Congratulations, Captain.
The The next promotional approval request to the Sheriff's Merit Board, whereas applicant Lowell Scott Boswell, a member of the department eligible for promotion to the rank of sergeant, except as noted in waiver request Form G, if any, attached, is found to have made the highest grade in written examination, years of service grade, and service rating grade total, as per reported on the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department eligibility list published by the Sheriff's Merit Board. In my opinion, he appears to have all of the necessary attributes to properly discharge his duties in the rank sought. I hereby respectfully request the approval of the board for his promotion to that rank effective March 28th, 2019.
Thank you. Hearing such, I have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion to have a second. Motion second. Any questions? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Congratulations, Sergeant.
And the next is, while it's not a promotional approval request, it is on that form to the Sheriff's Merit Board, whereas applicant Harlan D. Williams, a member of the department, eligible for a reduction to the rank of patrolman, deputy, except as noted in waiver request Form G, if any, attached, is found to have made the highest grade in written examination, years of service grade, and service rating grade total as per reported on the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department eligibility list published by the Sheriff's Merit Board. In my opinion, he appears to have all the necessary attributes to properly discharge his duties in the rank sought, which is deputy. I hereby respectfully request the approval of the board for his reduction to that rank, effective March 28th, 2019.
Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept? Have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Motion second. Any questions? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, thank you. And I'd like to thank Connie Trojanowski for her work in putting those together. She's always does a great job of preparing and getting the forms ready. She knows exactly on the calendar when these promotions are due and when those forms will be due for the Merit Commission. So thank you for getting that together. Appreciate it. On Tuesday, April 2nd, Deputy Andrew Hahn went to Von Lick Kennels and picked out his new canine partner, Maiko, a 22-month-old Belgian Malinois. Both will begin a 6-week training at Von Lick Kennels, and that will begin on Monday, April 15th. So he'll conclude his training in mid-May. We're very excited. It seems to be a great match, and I'm very pleased with his choice of Belgian Malinois. Again, he was between a Dutch Shepherd and a Malinois. He chose the Malinois, and the Malinois chose him too. So we're excited about that. I'm looking forward to meeting him. I haven't met him yet.
I've got to say, I was very impressed with the pictures that Captain Outland sent out. They
Yes.
were absolutely spectacular. I mean, one of them, especially the one with the dog standing on his hind leg.
Yes.
Pretty phenomenal.
They're a very energetic breed.
Sounds like it.
Yes.
Look forward to seeing it.
And they're not as prone to hip dysplasia as the Shepherds are as well. And they have better backs also. So they're just a more compact dog. Like the Shepherd, but we really like the Malinois also.
Will he continue his recertifying with the kennel in Peru? Recertification? Or is there any necessary? Do they need to do that?
You mean the handler himself?
Yes.
No, it's the dog that gets recertified, not the handler.
But down there?
Yes, the dog has already come certified. Now they're training together. Yep. And then we're not sure where he'll recertify at the end of the year. The dogs are recertified on an annual basis. Right now, the Indiana Sheriff's Youth Ranch has taken a hiatus from that. That's where we had been recertifying. Not sure where they're going to recertify next time, and if the Sheriff's Youth Ranch will continue the recertification, if they will have continued the program by then.
I see.
We continue to monitor calls for service at the New Franciscan Hospital in Michigan City, as we've reported in the past. And I appreciate Chief Deputy Heeg putting these numbers together for us. We do keep a close ear to the radio as to what's going on there. They really don't seem to be inordinate. For example, in the month of March, we responded to 9 calls at that new hospital, 9 calls for service. But again, we are continuing to keep an eye on it. Thank you.
Better late than never.
That's right. On Monday, April 8th, the LaPorte County Council approved an additional appropriation of $150,000 as we begin to change medical providers in our jail. We currently use Advanced Correctional Health, which you probably heard before as ACH, and we're going to be changing to Quality Correctional Care, QCC, and that company is currently providing medical coverage in 63 of the 91 jails in the state of Indiana, with 3 more that are waiting approval right now. The reason that one of the reasons that we selected QCC is because they've been tested in other jails, and they've been doing such a great job of providing quality care to the inmates. And so it really is, it's kind of the wave in Indiana now to go to QCC, and we think we're going to be very satisfied with the services that they provide our inmates.
You missed 9.
I'm sorry?
You missed 9.
I'm sorry, I'll go back to that.
Okay.
One of the biggest changes with the new medical provider is the fact that we're going to now have 24/7 nursing and medical coverage. That's really important for us, especially the time that the most acute patients or the most acute inmates come here to the jail, the overnight weekend hours when many of them are intoxicated either with alcohol or narcotics or both. I'd like to go back to item number 9.
I'd like to comment on that if I can with the medical. I was here Monday at the council meeting, and I understand where you're coming from, and again with my background in DOC, it's just not fair to the jail staff to have to be somewhat conscious of what's going on the medical end. They're not trained in that area, and for this contract to now have 24/7 coverage with the medical staff is going to be gigantic. I think it's going to cut down on potentially lawsuits and that, knowing that there is a trained professional, licensed professional on the shift 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Hopefully we'll pay dividends just in that itself. So
we think so. Absolutely.
Job well done on searching out this company and getting them done.
Right. We're very pleased with that, and it will remove a lot of liability. And let's face it, the biggest area of potential liability in all of county government, in any county, is the jail. It's just a huge area, and we think that this is going to be a substantial step in reducing that, and therefore reducing the cost of taxpayers as well.
Is this an annual, is this a contract?
It is an annual contract, yes.
Annually?
Yes. Yep.
So that $150,000 will be added to your budget?
Yes, because we received the appropriation. However, when we go for budget hearings in July, that $150,000 or so will be added to what we already have budgeted in professional services. So actually the budget is going to increase.
I see.
Our jail inspection took place on March 27th, and it was conducted by the Indiana Department of Correction. We received a very good initial report, and the inspector was very complimentary of the condition of the jail, the maintenance program, the morale of the inmates, and of the staff. And this is a reflection of all of the collective efforts of the staff under the leadership of Captain Al Ott, Sergeant John Wiltshire, Sergeant Steve Oliver, and Jail Administrative Coordinator Jeannie Crosland. Captain Ott is here. Thank you very much for keeping the jail staff prepared 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. And we talked about it. This inspection could have taken place as a surprise 3 months ago or 3 months in the future, and we would be ready for it because we're always on top of the maintenance needs. It's really nice, the maintenance department, working with them, and the professionalism of the staff and the leadership of our administration in the jail. So thank you very much. We have now released the annual jail report. Although it had been completed prior to the jail inspection, we don't release it until the jail inspector actually has a chance to review it and then approve it. But since it's been reviewed and approved, it can now be located on our public website. So you can merely go to www.laportecountysheriff.com, and you can go to the links on the far right-hand side of the page, and you'll see the annual 2018 jail report is there, along with our annual 2018 department-wide report also. And it's just part of our attempt to be transparent so the public can see that. We've received several emails, people that have come in person and visited, and telephone calls from people saying thank you for publicizing that instead of having to do a Freedom of Information request for that information, they can merely go to the website and they can find it right there. It's at a person's fingertips. As a reminder, we opened up the application process for the 2019 Neil Thompson Memorial Scholarship. We'll accept application from any child of any employee or volunteer of the Sheriff's Office who are currently seniors in high school and planning on attending college during the following fall semester. The recipients will be awarded $1,500, and the deadline for application is May 3rd. Our annual Peace Officers Memorial Service will take place Friday, May 10th, and mark that on your calendars because I believe that will be before the next Merit Commission meeting. It will be at noon in the, I'm sorry?
Day after.
It is the day after, okay. It will be at noon at the Elston Auditorium, as it has been the last several years. It's going to be a county-wide law enforcement service, as it has been, as we merged with the Michigan City Police Department. We are hoping that perhaps we can bring it back to LaPorte next year, but in the planning stages, which went all the way back to last year, the renovations weren't complete in the LaPorte Community Schools, and we feel as though that would be a good venue in perhaps the auditorium of the LaPorte High School, or maybe even next year, the auditorium at Boston Middle School. The only reservation that I have about Boston Middle School is the parking. I just don't know that there would be adequate parking for all the visitors that would attend. But again, Friday, May 10th at noon, and we hope that all of you can make that event. Reminder that our next Merit Commission meeting is Thursday, May 9th, and that's a 9 a.m. meeting. And at the conclusion of this meeting, we will be meeting in an executive session in the small conference room. That's, again, immediately following. You'll find the Warrant Division monthly activity report that's attached. Once again, you can see how busy our Warrants Division is. You'll also see the Detective Bureau monthly report, and I've just been handed from Captain Allen. In his defense, he's been out of town as well. The report from the month of March for the jail. We're very, very busy. All divisions are extremely busy, and you know by the fact that we've got 5 in the academy right now, we're barely keeping our head above water. And just our calls for service and the other services that we provide throughout the county and the department. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Are there any comments from the floor? Okay.
Comment on what being busy, the fire alarm that you guys all heard.
Is that a test or was that a?
No, it's, I guess you can look at that and see how we respond, but.
Nobody moved, so the test.
So I guess today's not a good day for an inspection.
Well,
A little bit of water.
Can I just add one thing? I left out item number 9, and that is the fact that on Monday, March 18th, we had talked about this the previous meeting, along with the LaPorte Police Department, the Michigan City Police Department, and other emergency services. We held an active shooter drill at LaPorte High School. It was a training, and the training went very well. We learned a lot of lessons, and we have some areas of improvement that we've identified that we've already started working on together, collaboratively, not only with the schools, but the other emergency services as well. And we're going to continue to meet on some of those areas where we need improvement. And I would pledge to you that we are going to make improvements in those areas. But that's exactly why we have training like this, so we can identify those weaknesses. We know what we're doing well, but this is very fluid as well. Because unfortunately, with every active shooter, whether it's in a school or an industry or at a movie theater, there are lessons that are learned from law enforcement. We debrief and we learn from what other agencies and how they've reacted and some of their issues as well. That's precisely why we brought Chief Jowett up and Superintendent Carter from the State Police to talk to our emergency services in our schools a month ago about the lessons that they learned in the Noblesville West Middle School shooting. And we've learned a lot from them as well. So we were pleased that it went well.
Sheriff, on that, will the agencies that were involved in this, are you getting together on a monthly basis or whatever to go over the positives and the minuses or whatever has to be done?
Yes. In fact, Chief, maybe you want to talk about it. A week and a half ago, you guys met Emergency Services Law Enforcement.
Right. met about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago now. We met at the Michigan City Police Department. It was EMS, fire departments, and all law enforcement personnel in the county met, and we kind of come up with a game plan, so to speak, and we're kind of putting the ball in the training coordinator's role. We want to do some joint training with just emergency responders so after the fact, after the law enforcement gets in the building and neutralizes the threat. What are we going to do now and getting the injured out to the emergency personnel? So we're working on getting some training set up, and hopefully we'll have something going maybe in the summertime that we can use the schools when they're closed for the summer.
Is the individual that coordinated this or oversaw it, will he come back anytime to?
No, this is something that we're kind of taking the ball in our own court, and we're going to put together.
Good.
Yeah,
Good job.
During this drill that we had back in March, we realized there was a need for this, and that that's a good thing about doing these types of drills is you learn something, and you can take something out of it, and then make it better.
Is there any one particular unit that's going to be totally controlled? Who is going to be control of this, hypothetically, if the incident like that occurs?
It would be the law enforcement agency in the jurisdiction of where this occurs.
So if it was in LaPorte, it would be LaPorte City PD?
Correct.
In the county, it would be
It would be the sheriff's office. Michigan City would be the Michigan City Police Department.
They would coordinate or whatever that needs
Correct.
to be done.
Yep.
Do you foresee alternating schools?
Well, that's the game plan, and I know the school officials who were there in March had asked that maybe we do start round tabling different schools, and that it just happened to be the high school here in LaPorte. Excuse me. Last month is because they'd come to us and they volunteered their school to be used for this drill.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Last year, we conducted a tabletop exercise in Michigan City, and it featured one of the Michigan City area schools, although we had school officials there from every corporation in the county. We're hoping that next year we can either do live action like this or a tabletop, and I know there are several schools that are out there. South Central is one of them. I think New Prairie would like to do something once the renovation is done, and I think Michigan City would like us to physically come to perhaps a high school or one of the middle schools over there. So we do plan on moving throughout the county. One of the unique features, and I think Mr. Kimmel, you had mentioned the facilitator that we had, was the drill didn't just stop then. He actually provided us, for lack of a better term, a homework assignment, provided us all with an after-action report that he expected us to complete. Have you completed it yet? Not yet. This is due tomorrow. We're actually meeting with the schools tomorrow with our Safe School Commission, and we will discuss. Now we're bringing the school's perspective into this because they learned some really valuable lessons as well, and they really had their eyes opened by this. And one of the important aspects of this is they were able to really see the law enforcement response, because nationwide, the after action of an active shooter in the schools or an industry, wherever it is the fact that everyone was so surprised by emergency responders' response to the incident, in so much as when there's an active shooter and there are people that are actually down and injured in hallways, in rooms, that law enforcement rushes by them and doesn't stop to render aid because they're going to that shooter so they can stop the shooter from their action, so they can stop the killing and they can stop their action, and then they come back and when they make it safe, and then they can begin rendering aid. But many have a hard time with that because they say law enforcement just was screaming for help and they just ran right by us. Well, it was unfortunately to move forward so they can stop that aggressor and locate them and prevent other lives from being lost and other people from being injured. So that's one of the things that the school officials were able to actually see, although we've told them it's another, because it was very, very realistic. This situation, we had role players from the Michigan City area schools that were bussed in that day, and they actually played the parts of injured students and students that were fleeing as law enforcement was making their entry into the school.
Thank you.
And this is done just privately. I mean, it's not up. The session itself is not open to the public.
That's correct. It's not. Yeah, it's not a spectator sport. It's only for those that are involved in the schools and emergency responders.
So is this publicized in any shape or form?
We did, because we didn't want a sympathetic response from the public, and we wanted them to know that we were going to be doing this scenario at LaPorte High School, and with all the emergency responders there and the sounds of gunshots, we didn't want them to think that there was actually a school shooting that was taking place. So beginning about 3 weeks beforehand, the LaPorte City Police Department and their public information officer began to disseminate information, and then in the weeks and days to follow, they actually made contact with those that were living in the immediate area to again remind them that this was merely a training, and though it may seem realistic, it was not.
Sure, okay.
We didn't want someone to think that they were doing a favor by responding to gunshots at the high school and bringing a gun into a situation in which we didn't want that introduced.
Right.
But that also went to our training. We needed to make sure that we had a very tight perimeter, because in a situation like that, you're going to have people that are going to show up that are going to want to assist us and perhaps take the law into their own hands, or maybe it's, they're well-natured and they really want to help out.
And this you do not want.
Pardon?
This you do not want.
No, we don't, because it just kind of muddies the water, and then we don't know who's the aggressor and who's just a good Samaritan.
Makes sense.
Are there any other comments from the floor? I think we kind of got started. And no acceptance speeches from the captain or the new sergeant, or? I guess not. Hearing no comments from the floor, comments from the board. Mr. Kluge?
Not at this time.
Ms. Mock?
None?
Sheriff, question. I know the 5 individuals are doing extremely well at the academy. Upon their return, do we have dates set yet for the next 3? I think we got 3 new employees waiting to go. Do we have dates for that yet?
No, it's my understanding that we're still awaiting word that we know when the next academy classes are. Chief, you can expound on it.
Yeah, we know when the next academy classes are. The one in Plainfield is going to be in May, but there's a lengthy waiting list to get on that one. Following, if we can't get into that one, which we're not holding our breath on, the next class will be at NYLEA, and that's the 1st of August. So we're kind of just in a holding pattern until the next academy class, unfortunately.
And what's your availability there?
We're confident we'll get in there. We've already got them registered in that class, so we're already good to go for the NYLEA class in August.
Okay. Are the plans to bring those 3 on earlier than the August 1 date?
Absolutely. David Grimberg actually started with us on April 1st.
Okay.
And then the 2 others are beginning with us on May 1st.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's all I had. Are there any other questions or comments? Have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Have a motion to have a second. All in favor by aye? Aye. All the same? Meeting adjourned at 1:30.
5.